Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Subject Computer Application, Chapter 3, Introduction to Database Management System, Part 2. So, last class we discussed about the concept database and try to understand the different models of database, that is hierarchy database, network database, relational database, object oriented database. In this session, we are going to discuss the following topics: RDBMS jargons, ER model, ER diagram. So first topic, RDBMS jargons. Jargons means technical terms. There are four technical terms in RDBMS. The first technical term, first jargon is database. The most popular relational database is MySQL, which supports in Windows, Linux and Mac operating system. Other than MySQL, Oracle, MySQL Server, MS Access are the popular RDBMS software. Some of the important features of RDBMS softwares are they are high performance, they are high availability, robust transaction and support, easy of management and less cost. So these are the some of the features of RDBMS. Next jargon is table. Table a table is the simple structure where we use to store data in database. Table is defined as the collection of data organized in terms of rows and columns. So each and every rows are called tuples, and each and every columns are called attributes, which we are going to discuss in further topics. In next jargon is columns. Of course, the whole table is divided into smaller parts in terms of column. Each column is known as attributes. The attributes defined in a table to hold values of the same time. Each attribute consists only a same data type. In the example diagram, you can see there are four attributes, namely ID, name, age, salary. In name, we can only store alphabets. In age, we only store numbers. In salary, we only store integers. So these are the some basic features of attributes. Mostly, the vertical entity in a table is known as attributes. The next topic is rows. Rows is also called as record or tuple in RDBMS. A set of related data are represented in a row or tuple. Other than attributes, rows which consist of different types of data. In attributes, we can see only same type of data can store. In rows, there are different types of data are collected, but there is some condition that each and every data should be related. See the first row, 1, it is an integer. Second data is Alex, that is characters. Third data is 26. Fourth data is 22,000. So here you can see different types of data are here. So number 1 is number data, second one is character data, third one is integer data, fourth one is integer data. Each and every horizontal entity in a table is known as a record, row or tuple, which consists of different types of data, but these data types are related. So ID number 1 related to name Alex, that is name Alex ID is 1. So here 26 age related to Alex, 22,000 salary related to Alex. So each and every data in single row should be related to each other. So this is the simple concept in RDBMS, that is rows. Next concept is primary key. Here, key refers to columns or attributes. This primary key is also called as candidate keys. The purpose of this key is identification task. So in table, there are thousands of records or rows or tuples. For identifying a single record or row or a tuple in a table, this primary key is useful. So a primary key is a column which contains a unique value for its primary key. So every tuple must have by definition a unique value for its primary key. In this example, we have 5 attributes five columns: ID, name, age, department, salary. Here you can see ID is the only one column or key which consists of a data's unique values. That means there is no duplication in this value. But in name you can see Alex's name is duplicated. That means there are two employees in a table who have same name Alex. In the same way, many employees are working in a concern, there are same aged employees may be work. The salary may be same for many employees. The department code also be same in for many employees. But for when we consider the ID for the employee, the ID is unique. So this ID is known as a primary key. This primary key is also called as candidate key. The purpose of primary key and candidate key is to identifying a single record or row or tuple from a table. So in primary key, there should not be any empty value. There should not be a duplicate value. The values whichever we entered, it should be unique. This is the simple condition for primary key. The next concept is foreign key. The foreign key means the key, that is the column which we are using in a single table, is exported from other table. For example, in the screen you can see two tables, one which five columns, that is attributes, another one with two attributes. The department at key is known as foreign key because the department key is exported from the department table to the salary table. So here the department column, that is department attributes, department key is exported from the department table to the salary table. So that's why this department column or attribute key are called as foreign key, because it is not created here, it is exported from the department table. So this is similar to primary key, but the only difference is it is not created in the original table, it exported from other table. So these keys also used to identify a single record from a table. Next key is super key. A super key means when more than one primary keys are combined to find a single record or row or tuple in a table is known as super key. In the definition you can see an attribute or group of attributes which is sufficient to distinguish every tuple into relation from every other one is known as super key. Here attribute means a column which refers to candidate key. Candidate key is also called as super key. Each super key is called as candidate key. So here you can see in the second band, each super key should be candidate key. Candidate key is selected from the set of super key. While selecting candidate key, redundant attribute should not be taken. Redundant means excessive attribute should not be taken. So when we are creating a super key, there should be limitation. Limited primary key should be used for primary key. That is the point explained here. Next it is the candidate key is also known as minimal super key. In this table you can see ID and email ID are the two attributes which called as super keys, because both these attributes are primary keys, and by using these two attributes we are identifying a single record or a tuple or in a row in a table. So here in this table, ID and email ID is called as super keys because ID and email ID both attributes are primary keys or candidate keys. Both attributes are used to identify a single record in this table. So next topic is composite key. Here you can see we are using more than one attributes to find a single record, but the condition is these attributes may or may not be primary key or candidate key. But in super key, both the keys should be primary key or primary key. But in composite key, these keys may or may not be super keys. In this table you can see ID and name is a composite key. Here ID is a primary key, name is not a primary key, because in name we may be use duplicate values. We may be use duplicate values for the in the table. So that's why these two columns are called composite key. But in super key, we should use a primary key as a super keys. The next topic is ER model, entity relation model. This model is used to design a database. Here, this model is consist of collection of entities. Here, entities refers to real world objects. The real world objects may be man, animal, place, building, company. So all the objects are called entities in this ER model. This model is consist of many objects which should be interconnected with each other. This is the only condition which is defined here. That is, in ERL model, we are using real life objects, but when we are using more than one object in this model, each and every object should be interconnected. When you want to create a school database, you may use different objects like student, admin, teacher, class, like, but each and every object should be interconnected. Here you cannot use a object called mm, managing director or production manager, because these objects are called irrelevant object to the school database, because these objects, that is managing director, production manager, are the objects which are used in production companies, corporate companies. But in school database we are using database, but we are creating a database for school, so we can use the object which are related to school. So here we can use the teacher database, teacher object, student object, parent object, admin object, etc. So in this example, we are using a student object. This object contains many other objects called roll number, address, parent name. The further, this address object is divided into three objects: door number, street name, town. So this is the simple example for ER model. Now we are going to discuss the basic concept of ER modeling. The three basic concept of ER modeling is: number one, entity or entity type; number two, attributes; number three, relationship. So we are going to discuss these objects one by one. The first object is entity or entity type. What is entity? So an entity can be anything in a real world object. That is, we already discussed. Entity means a real world object. Example, man, employee, manager for company database. In entity, an entity is represented by rectangular blocks. In ER model, each and every entity is represented by rectangular blocks. Here in example you can see, for company database we are using two entities. One is employee, another one is manager, which are placed within the rectangular blocks. This is the basic rule. For each and every action there is symbols which we are going to discuss in our upcoming chapters. The first symbol is a rectangular box, which is used to represent the entity in ER model. There are many types. There are two types of entity in ER model. One is strong entity, another one is weak entity. So what is strong entity? E is the one which does not depend on any other entity on the schema or database, and a strong entity will have a primary key, which it is represented by one rectangular. So strong entity is a entity which does not depend on any other entity in the database. This entity should be primary key in table. The second entity is weak entity. It is opposite to strong entity, that it depends on other entities. It depends on other entities. In the table you can see name is the example for strong entity. Age, salary are called weak entities, because name, it is not dependent on any other entities, but age and salary is dependent on name entity. So these age and salary entity are called weak entities, because these entities, that is age and salary, is dependent on age. So name. So when you hide the name entity from this table, you can see only ID, age, salary. So ID 1, age 26, salary 22,000. So it doesn't mean so here you can see the meaning of the record is not fulfilled, because the age 26, salary 22,000, for whom? The name of the employee is Alex. So the age is dependent on name, salary is dependent on name. So this entity is called weak entity, which are represented in double rectangle. Then age and salary is not a primary key. So these entities are called weak entities when Name is the strong entity because it is not dependent on any other entities. So next topic is entity instance. Entity instance means values for the entity. For example, human, animals, jobs, actors, electronics are the entities. Example, for each and every entities there should be instant. For example, if you take actors entity, Ajit, Vijay, Vikram, these are the instance, that is values for the entities. If you take jobs, engineering, engineer, doctor, lawyer, these are the instance for the job entities. So this is called entity instance. Now we are going to discuss attributes. So attributes is the values which are used in any entity. These attributes should specify the quantity, qualify, classify, specify an entity. An entity and an attribute which always have a single value. That value can be a number of character or string. So the attributes may be number, maybe string, maybe character, but each and every entity should consist of attributes. Here entity means columns. So in ER model, the entity word is referred as a columns. In the table, you can see ID, name, age, salary, all entities where 1, 2, 3 for ID entities, attributes, Alex, Divya, Tulsi are the attributes for the name entity, 26, 25, 28 are the attributes for the age entity, 22,000, 20,000, 30,000 are the attributes for the salary entity. These attributes are further divided into five types. One is key attributes, second one simple attribute, third one composite attribute, fourth one single valued attribute, fifth one multi-valued attribute. Now we are going to discuss the first attribute called key attribute. Generally, key attribute describes the unique characteristics of the entity. So whatever the attributes which we used in entity, it should be unique. If the values, if the attributes are unique, then these attributes are called key attributes. Mostly primary keys are called key attributes. In this table, ID is the key attribute because there is no duplication. All the attributes are unique. Next attributes are called simple attribute. It cannot be separated from entity. It will be having a single value for their entity. uh, Here name is the simple attribute because we cannot remove, we cannot divide this attribute from the table. If you remove or separate this attribute from the table, then the meaning of the table does not fulfill the complete process. So let us consider the name as the attribute for the entity employee. Here the value for the attribute is a single value. The next attribute is a composite attribute. The composite attribute is the attribute which can further divided into many attributes without changing the original meaning. For example, in the employee entity, name is the attribute called composite attribute, which may further divided into first name, last name. So these first name and last name are called simple attributes which cannot separate it, but we can use this attribute in the table without changing the name, without changing the meaning. So this is the simple concept, composite attribute. Simple attribute is the attribute which we should not separate. Composite attribute is the attribute which can be further divided into sub attributes called simple attributes without changing the original meaning. So next attribute is single value attribute, contains only one value for the attribute. For example, here age is the single value attribute because here we can specify single value. We cannot give more than one values for the say age. For example, yes, a man does not have more than one age. In a particular time, there is the age value for a man is 1. So that is single. So that's why these values are called single value attributes. If you take the salary, the man may may gain more salaries, more than one salary from a single or many con- companies. So that's why age is called as a single value attribute for an entity. Next value is multi-value attribute. Here you can see a simple example. Degree is a multi-value attribute because an employee or a person can obtain more than one degree. here in degree we can, for Alex you can see there are two degrees, one is BTech, another one is MBA. For Divya there is a MA and BEd. For Tulsi, MCom and CA. So each and every person uh, uh, have more than one degree. So that's why these types of values attribute are called multi-valued attributes. The next topic is relationship type. In ER model, relationship exists between two entities. There are there are three types of relationship in ER model. One is one-to-one relationship, another one is one-to-many relationship, third one is many-to-many relationship. In the example diagram, you can see there is a two table. One is table A, another one is table B. Each table consists of many entities: ID, name, age, email. In table B, there are many entities: ID, department, degree, and salary. You can see the relationship arrows in three colors. The dark blue color represent one-to-one relationship. That is, in ID of the A and ID of the B is related. This relationship is called one-to-one relationship. If a user want to connect this table A with the table B by using a one-to-one relationship, he or she may use these primary keys to connect. So this type of relationship are called one-to-one relationship. When user want to connect one-to-many relationship, want to form one-to-many relationship, the red color lines represent the one-to-many relationship, where ID of A table is related with a degree and department of table B. So ID of A table is related with a degree and department table of table B. With this relationship is called one to many relationship. When user want to understand create a many to many relationship, it means both entities can be connected with many entities of another table. Here the green color represent the many to many relationship. Here you can see ID of table B is connected with the name and age. In the same way, age is connected with salary, email is connected with degree. So this type of relationship is called many to many relationship. So this is the three form of relationship in ER model. One, one to one relationship. Number two, one to many relationship. Number three, many to many relationship. Here relationship can be created only by primary keys in relational model, relational database management model. Next, relationship instance. Instance means if you are creating a relationship to two entities, two tables, then what is the work, what is the instance, what is the purpose of relating? This purpose is called a relationship instant. Each instance of the relationship between members of this entity type is called relationship instance. For example, work for is the relationship between employee entity and department entity. For example, in a concern, a employee is working, but in concern contains many department. If a employee is working, then that employee works for which department? So this work for is the relationship instance. So the employee is connected with the department entity, is related with the department entity. Then for what reason? For work for instance. Then Ram works for computer science department. So here is the example for relationship instant. Sham works for electronic department. This is the simple example for relationship instance. Here work for is the relationship instance. There are many types of relationship instance, but here we discuss a simple relationship instance that is called work for. That is for what purpose, for what action the relationship is created. This is called a relationship instant. Here degree of relationship instant, that is one employee may be connected with many departments. These many are unary. If your employee is connected with one department, is called unary. If your employee is connected with two departments, then it called binary. If the employee is connected with more than two department, called three entities. The three these these number of counting, number of relationship is called uh, degree of relationship. That is number of entity types involved in degree as manager, degree of relationship. There are three type of degrees: unary, binary, ternary. Unary means one relationship, binary means two relationship, ternary means three relationship. In the example you can see an employee of an organization act as a manager of the few other employees. So manager of is unary employee, because for a group of employees there is only one single manager, so one manager controls other employees. So here the one to many relationship is formed. Here the degree is one to many. So here one unary is unit degree is related. In the similar way, employee works for department connects to two entities and is called binary. In an organization you can see a single employee works for more than one department, then this degree is called binary degree. Here the instant relationship instant is work for. In the third example, if customer purchase item, it involves shopkeeper allows in a ternary relationship. Here, customer is the entity, he purchased, that is the relationship instant is the purchase, and he related to more than one items. So here, one to many items. Here, this entity is called ternary relationship. Ternary degree of relationship. So one customer may purchase more than two or more than three items, then this type of degree of relationship is called ternary relationship. So here we can see three instance or a relationship instance. One is manager of, second one is work for, third one is purchase. Manager of means one employee is control two group of employees. So here the degree is unary, because here only one employee which who controls many employees because of manager of instant. Here one employee work for more than department, so one employee work in more than department, then the degree of relationship is binary and instance of relationship is work for. When one customer purchase many item is called ternary degree of relationship, because purchase is the relationship instance where one item, more than one items are purchased by single or more than one customers. So here you can see the degree of relationship, that is unary, binary, ternary. Now we are going to understand the cardinality. Cardinality means number of items that must be included in a relationship. Number of items should be included in a relationship. Number of items in one set mapped with the number of entities of another set via relationship. There are three types of cardinality: one to one cardinality, one to many cardinality, and many to many cardinality. For the simple understanding, you can see person, vehicle. Here person is an entity and vehicle is an entity. Here we can see one to one cardinality, because one person drives one vehicle at a time. So this is the called one to one cardinality. Now you see the second diagram, customer order. So one customer places many orders. Here one customer places many order called one to many relationship cardinality. So here one to one drive. So if a person drives a vehicle, he can drive only one vehicle at a time. If a customer orders a place, then he can place more than one orders at a time. So here more than once means one to many. Here one to one, because the instances are different, vehicle and orders. Now here the third one in cardinality is student to register. At a time student can register many courses. He may join BCom, he may can do another degree at a simultaneously. He may do driving coaching classes, he may go for karate classes, he may go for yoga classes, he may go for swimming classes. So one student can register more than one courses at a time. So this is called many to many student, that is many student can register into many courses. This type of cardinality is called many to many cardinality. So next topic is ER diagram. So in the diagram you can see different shapes are used as a notation for ER diagram. The single rectangular bars for strong entity, double rectangular bars for weak entity, rhombus for relationship, double rhombus for between entities, ellipse symbol to connect the entities, that is for attributes, and ellipse within the underlined attribute name is called key attribute. Ellipse with uh, dotted lines inside is called a derived attribute. Double ellipse notation is used for multi-valued attributes. So these are the symbol used as a notation in diagram. You should remember these notations. So this one is the important question. So next we are going to understand how we are going to draw a ER diagram for a school database. In your in your book, you can see a ER diagram for school database where many shapes are used. Here you can see ellipse, rectangle, rhombus, and arrow marks, etc. So in this diagram, we are going to discuss first how many entities are there. So in our previous diagram, we see entities are represented by single rectangular, and weak entities are represented by double rectangle. First, we want to find number of entities in this ER diagram. So here you can see first entity parent, because it was represented by single rectangular box. Second entity student, third entity admin, fourth entity teachers and class subject. So these are the six entities are used in this ER diagram, which is listed here, that is parent, admin, student, teacher, subject and class. Each and every entities have their own attributes. For example, if you take parent, is connected with the name is connected with first name, last name. This attribute is called composite attribute, because it is further divided into two simple attributes called simple attributes. So this one is a ID, this one is the relationship. So here you can see student attribute may also have ID and name. In the similar way, each and every entities have their own attributes. For example, if you take teacher, teacher may have name, first name, last name, address, phone number, ID, etc. The sum of the attributes. So in the same way, if you take this subject as a entity, this subject entity contains three attributes, namely ID, name, and class ID. By drawing these types of diagram, the database RDBMS users easily identify what they are want to do correctly, and they can reduce the redundant of the attributes, redundant of the entities. So here you can see the relationship also. Here you can see relationships are represented by rhombus symbol. There are many relationships. Here you can see parent and student relationship have. At the same time, admin have a relationship with the student, namely enrolls. In the same way, admin entities have the relationship with the teacher called hires. At the same way, class entities related with the student to know. Class is related with the teacher by the relationship called in assign to. In the same way, subject with the relationship teacher is called a teacher. These are the different relationship used in this ER diagram. So this is the simple concept called ER diagram. These ER diagrams are useful to draw a perfect entity attribute diagram for creating a design layout for database management system. So we will continue on the next class. Assalamu alaikum.